name is Jessica Holyfield. I'm a professional dance choreographer and dance educator based out of the southeast of the United States. And we're going to be taking a look at Left and Right by 17. It's just a choreography video. I have heard of this song. I have not seen the choreography, I don't believe, but I'm very much excited for it. This era of these tracks that I have been seeing is very fun, very theatrical, and very joyful. So I do expect, based on the tone of this track in particular that I'm used to hearing, I'm expecting something similar here. But we're gonna go ahead and take a look.
둘, 셋, 넷.
They just did Gangsta Walk, and then they reversed the Gangsta Walk. I don't think I've seen anybody actually do that before. Hop, up. Oh my god! That back corner just killed that little beat kill right there. Wow! This is popping off way more than I was expecting. Oh my god! So impressed by just what they did with the Gangsta Walk. That like, it's really good. I love this course choreo a lot. Good God. Yes. Probably tired. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Uh-huh. That's right. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Oh my gosh. That is so fun. Oh man. I know it's too early to say this, but I will say this based on the point in time that I am in this reaction series with 17. I truly believe this is going to be one of my favorite eras of choreography because of the attentiveness to the track, as well as the gimmickness that we've seen, the theatricals. I personally have, since what I've enjoyed about this group has been this concept that they've done, which is being authentic, being gregarious, which is more on the happier tones. They're theatrical, they have playfulness and childlike wonder, but it's not childish. And I think this is probably going to be my favorite era of choreography to tracks because of those things I've already listed. Because they can go hard on some heavy hitting, very like more mature, neurotic, toned tracks, but not many groups can pull something like this off. Do you know what I mean? And I think that, and part of it comes from, you have to be very, very clean in the choreography that you're given. And their choreography is not simple. They have a lot of people, so they're able to do a lot of these different choices with their formations in mini groups. I really do love the energy that we have set up here at the beginning. You just have your 4, and then you have your 5, and then you have your 4. So we have 4, 8, 10, 11, we have all 13. And and it also feels too with some of these, I can naturally feel 13 member energy because it doesn't feel like someone's missing. Does that make sense? At least with some of these more recent ones. I could be wrong in the future, but what I'm noticing is whenever they're pulling off this type of interactions with each other, it feels very complete. It doesn't feel like they're missing someone, if that makes sense. So, but yeah, so seeing this from the top here. Yeah, the 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷. So they're counting and they go. Okay, that right there. So this is called, well, they technically aren't. They're doing something called a gangsta walk. That was something by Zaya, I think, from Future Kings, right? He's the one who originated the gangsta walk, and I have never seen people reverse it in a choreography before. Normally, I only see it done one way. I never seen people actually hit it and then freaking reverse it. That is so fun. Now, I'm not saying they're the only ones that have ever done it. It's the first time I'm seeing it so clearly and distinctly, and it is a key point choreo. So I shout out to the choreographer for that. I am so, like, my brain broke for a second and a half on that, and that by itself makes me want to learn this because I want to see what this feels like on my body doing these variants in this course. It's so fun. Vibing through. Yep, sometime. And he goes, ha! And so they're nice and melting coup, just kind of snapping through. But notice the only ones that are looking forward are this group right here coming from the back, protruding more forward. They are moving more this way in a circle. And then who knows what this group of 5 is doing. They're just vibing out, having a good time over here. So we're going to see what's happening. That right there. Woo-hoo, really fun. Do a great job matching the tone. That jump right there, great way to showcase your new feature on that. Yeah, do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. I love the usage of just the tapping here as they hit that bass drop. And they scoop down. That right there, do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Love it with a little twisting, twirling right there. We've seen a lot of locking influence. I know just this usage of the twirl, you know, or for me with whacking, it's like an overhead with the wrist roll, right? So I really do like seeing some of that integrated here, what they're good at. Right there. Do-do-do-do-do-do. So they use their hands mostly more so than their body. They use their hands and they hit like you're hitting a door, but really fast. So I wouldn't even call it a vibration. I would just call it just a reset. I would honestly call it more of a not ticking either, but just like you're using a pop, but you're restricting it, like you're holding it down and you're recoiling. I would call it more like a recoil, rebound right there. But I love that. Right there, having everybody transition while also still doing the choreo. I love it. They're not just basket running away. They're doing the groove in the lower half very well, but still showcasing your features in the front. Yeah, I love it. He goes, go, go. Feature's the only one that's not throwing his head. Everybody else is throwing their head to the outside. Super fun. I love that. That little ha, ha, da, 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 da. And then they're still using this groove right here. But it's different than this gangsta walk influence groove. They're hitting it, and then they're switching with the ISO. So it's still different, but tying together the key point choreo you will see later. Everybody's frozen, but then you have one of them, I think he lost his balance and he was hopping through it, but he still made it work on beat. Really smart on his part. I love that. Ding, 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 ding. Yep. Left in, right, left in, right, left in. I love that. It's just so, you know, it's very catchy, and it feels like when this song comes on, I would want to do this dance, right? It reminds me of like, you know, a cha-cha slide or Cupid shuffle. It's like a line dance where I am, and just being able to do, you just know what you do, you know? It's like when the song comes on, you know what to do. When this song comes on, this makes me want to learn this, so when this song comes on, I know exactly what it is because it matches so well. Dee 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 dee. And it's such a vibe, and a lot of the grooves or moves that they've chosen to do are more so seen in social environments or used in social media environments, and that's why I really like it. I love that they built it up left in, so they had it really small and then they built it up. Love that. So they built it up and they hold da 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 da, and then bring it over. I love that. Dee 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 dee, and then they broke it down more isolated. Really ties into their synchronicity or their complexity that they can enhance in their routines. They can sprinkle complexity, but their performance is carrying it so well that they don't have to do this as much like in other concepts. I love that with the runs. Bring it up, and they're hitting it down. Da 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 da. Hey, little whoa. Yeah. Da-na-na-na, follow me. It feels very playful in that section. But that little groove is right there. It's really fun. The first time they just did the upper body, then they added on the leg that made it look bigger. And then they wave it through. You go, wah, ha, ha, ha. And then it has your next feature seamlessly come through. They're all, and they high five. They did a little give me five, and they kind of transition out of that. And he just... That was fun. Hold on. I just, they're playing, so they're running, they're playing the game. And he jumps over a hurdle. I didn't even catch that. I love that. And he says, you win. The energy that they had here was so nice because it went from something very playful to something very high in energy. They know how to spike their performance on command, and I love it because sometimes whenever you get to like verse 2, they take most groups take more chill approach, or you do see that conceptually take more chill approach because you want to make sure you conserve your energy for your dance break that happens later that a lot of groups do have, or with your course it could be high energy or it could be full of energy to some degree. You want to make sure you properly distribute. So I love this though that they have these interesting choices when they choose to spike the performance in their choreo, because it helps me re-engage if something doesn't quite register the way it needed to, like that whole hurdle situation. It was still nice to watch, but that was a really great way to tie me back in, even if I didn't catch it the first time. I love this. Bah, 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 bah. My only note is they should have popped off a little bit more, you know? At least with those surrounding. I think my middle guy is Dino, right? I think so. You guys verified that I found Dino in the last one that I asked if that was him. So I think that's Dino, because here's how I know. I don't think he wears, maybe he does wear hats, but like I could tell based on his energy that he throws his upper body, that I feel like that is Dino, because whenever he does a concept like this, that's how he showcases his performance, is mostly through this when he does interactions and his extra work. That's how I was able to pick him out a little bit more, because it's still, a lot of these guys are still unfamiliar to me. And that's totally fine, because I love looking at 17 as a group and not one person versus everybody else. But it is nice to slowly get to know them as like, okay, this is why I think this is who I think it is. So I know most of you guys are like, that's Dino because his hair color was this during this comeback, or that's Dino because that's the brand of shoe he always wears, or that, you know, this, that, or the other. For me, I'm going to really pinpoint based on their movement quality, because that's really mostly of what I have to go off of, because I have seen some variety shows of 17, but once again, I have not seen enough to really get to know each individual member, maybe just excerpts of some of their solo work, or if there's a practical joke that took place that showed up on my feed that I watched and I found funny, things like that. So, but anyway, I love all this. They go and they off to the sides. I love that they're so... Do you see what's happening over here? I always talk about what they do on the sides. Look at this energy right here. I pull that mess in rehearsals a lot. Whenever there's something happening in the middle, I sometimes just disengage and I'm doing what I want to do on the side. So I resonate with that so freaking hard. Anyway, this choreo in the middle, I love how they bleed it over and they bleed it through with the feature. He goes around, they circle around. Love that. My only note for this is I really feel like they should have traveled it out so you really see all of them distinctly. But I do understand what they're doing. It's called a canon. So it's when somebody goes one move after somebody else and they continue to do that move progression. So that was really fun. They finish it out and it matches really well. He was high five. That was great. Love that. But I understand why they were pretty close together because they needed to finish in a straight line. So I totally get that. Yeah, love that. Dun, 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 dun. Back to the gangsta walk, but that is still that technique is the same as this. So if you're somebody that's learning this choreo, this is a similar technique of the left and right. Just how they do it is with both, and they isolate, so they polyrhythmicize it or they enhance it in a different way, which I really like. They also do a little bit of a city boy shuffle, a little bit like this kind of vibe here, you know. And I know TikTok was really popping off around this era, so it makes sense that like this mess right here was really popular in the earlier viral things of TikTok. But that's called a city boy. That's called a city boy shuffle or city boy rock, right? Yeah. Nice little blow that happened there. Super fun. Right there into that gangsta walk build up. Left in, right. Love it. La da 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 woo. And now it makes me wonder because I have to remember. I am coming at this from a 2023 brain. Hold. Sorry, I normally don't pause, but I needed to just Google to see when Gangsta Walk came out. It came out in 2019. So this is around 2020 when this came out. So that was around, you know, okay, so that makes total sense. This is it's technically a significantly newer move to do in an arsenal choreography. So I have to remember that because I'm so used to seeing it in a lot of stuff. And it's still, but here's something to note. Wild to me that I hadn't seen variations like what I'm seeing here up until this point and anything else. So that just shows like I'm assuming it's their resident choreographer because a lot of you say that they have a resident choreographer that does a lot of their stuff. Freaking love it. I absolutely freaking love what they did with that. I really do. Like they understood the essence of what the track is. My only note though is with the gangsta walk part of it is like a descension down. So I would focus more on making sure they go a little bit lower and then reverse it if they chose to do that. And that's just my one note, but I love that having your feature go to one side and then go to the other side. Yeah, vibing it out. Great transition. I love that twirl. 2, 3, 4, and da 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 da. Yeah, da 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 da. Follow me. Yep, pick up the foot. Left in, right. Left in, right. Hey, hey, the energy. Pa 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 pa. I love the give me fives that they're giving to each other. So fun! Build it up. 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and 7. I think it's interesting that they went do 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 do, like they hit the double, like they doubled up their tempo, but there's still that singular bass. There's not a do 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 happening there. I think that was an interesting choice, and I like that. I love that peel through and then having him run through. I love that he gets cut. I love that do do do. You know, it's like that do, like how they hold the note as they're twisting it in the air as he's hitting it. Love that. I love that da 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 da. Love that. That was fun. Yes. Tying in what we heard in the very beginning. Right down in there. Now, they are doing a good job with the body lowering and going up, but what I was mentioning was more so making sure the head isolation is relevant here, because that's what makes the gangsta walk look the way that it does, is that head ISO creating the descension, not just lowering and raising. So that would be my one suggestion of refinement to the move to really help pay ode to the authenticity of what it is. But the fact is, I see it and I register it enough to know what it is. So that gets a pass in my humble opinion. I love it. Having everybody go straight and then having your feature in the middle. He kind of, not marked, but he bent his arm a little bit more. Energy. Look how much more energy is elevated here in this last course because they probably know that they are nearing that tail end. So they're able to pop off a little bit more, which is a really great use of conservation of energy. Love that. Boom. Do, 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 do. And he's kind of triggering over both sides. I really love that. Makes it different than the other choruses, but still keeps the essence. Love that. Dee 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 dee. We've already kind of seen that already. They're all having their own little parties and their own sequences, which is super fun. Follow me, and I love that when they go into the they use that as a transition to really clump up a little bit better. Right there into the chorus. We've already kind of seen this move here. Left in, right, left in, right. And I've seen this move. It's just more subtle, like more like a singular, not quite that entire thing. Saw it in Snap Shoot. You know, that a little mess right there. That was really fun. He did a Hana do a Sen. I love this, going from the counting in the front, and then he's counting on his fingers. It is making him deep in thought, and they register and pop up behind him, which helps look like thoughts, you know, or it looks like the back end, you know, what do you think of with the head? I love that. He pulls and he pulls, and he looks and he looks. I absolutely love that. That's so simple but effective. It takes up 2 8 counts worth of the track, but it's so captivating, just like it was when they did complexity of their movement. They move down. Bless the guys who are who have to do their squat, dip, and up, and dip and up. Their thighs must be on fire, melting down. They're pretty tired. He gets pulled to the back and then pulled to the front, and they're nodding. Uh-huh. 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 Oh, is that okay? I was mostly looking at who was talking. He's the one talking. That's right. And then he takes his hat. Take the hat. Take the hat. Take it. He took it. But definitely very fun. It is such a vibe. I think because I've been putting a poll out as I've been reacting to these marathons of which routines I should cover, and I think this one is going to be one of the ones selected. Even if, I'm gonna be honest, even if the general membership of Patreon doesn't vote for this, I may still do it anyway, because I absolutely love the structure of that choreography to that part of the track. I think it is so fun. It is it's just tasteful to the track. It feels relevant to the time, and it feels like a whole vibe and a half, and I am here for it. I loved that. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope I was helpful in some way. As I'm getting more down the pipeline of 17, the more I'm able to find more full picture things that I appreciate about the group from a choreography standpoint, a personality standpoint, and a commitment standpoint. So I'm very much excited about the fact that they are still very much around, coming up with comebacks, doing all of that to where I can appreciate this, knowing that I do get to see them in future comebacks. And I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch and support. It means a lot. I have been doing a whole marathon of 17 on Patreon and slowly trickling out the videos as the group has comebacks. So there's a good chance if you're seeing this on YouTube, it's been a hot minute since I've actually reacted to this at the time that you are watching it. So if you want to make sure you are in the know as I record anything, whether it's any K-pop group or any dance concept, I always post first to Patreon, and sometimes it stays on Patreon a month, sometimes a year. What it looks like with some of these setups of these marathons before it makes its way to YouTube. So if you want to be a part of it, you can go check it out there. If you're okay with waiting to see what I post every day, that is okay as well. I appreciate you taking the time to be a part, and I will catch you on the flip side.